The house is quiet. The door is closed. It's just me, a screen, and 80 minutes of chaos. I stayed up for this one in every way that matters. I made the coffee, I sat down, I hit play. Because when the Aviva hums like that, you can feel it even from 7,000 miles away. I expected a collision. I expected the best scrum in the world to meet the most cohesive attack in the north. But by the time I turned the game off, I realized I had watched something else entirely. We need to talk about the numbers because the numbers tonight are frightening. The penalty count looks like a horror story. The scrum battle looks like a public execution. But that is not the main story. Tonight is about one word: refusal. The scoreboard says South Africa 24, Ireland 13, an 11-point win for the world champions. Sounds simple, sounds comfortable. South Africa led this game for almost the entire match. They got in the Irish 22 10 times. They scored points on most of those visits. It was clinical. And yet, when you look at Rassie Erasmus at full time, he doesn't look like a coach who has just smashed a rival. He looks like a coach who wanted more. Why? Because Ireland, with 14 men, with 13 men, and at one stage 12 men, simply refused to go away. From this quiet room, we are going to break down one of the most chaotic, confusing, and valiant test matches of the year. This is Rugby from the Stands. Let's go back to the start. Ireland actually begin well. They have the ball, they have shape. You can see what Andy Farrell wants. Forwards in pods, width on both sides, Gibson Park pushing the tempo. But here is lesson number 1 when you play the Springboks. Possession is a vanity metric if you don't break the line. South Africa touched the ball once. Just once. They build a rolling maul. The maul splits. Hands are sharp, and Damian Willemse hits the gap and scores. 4 minutes gone. Ireland 0, South Africa 5. I was just about ready to write positive things about Ireland's attack. Instead, I'm writing first entry, first try. Then we get our first flashpoint. Sasha Feinberg Mngomezulu hits Tommy O'Brien, shoulder to head. I'm wincing on the couch. I'm waiting for a card. But the ref goes penalty only. No yellow. Ireland get the kick. South Africa get the warning. For the next few minutes, Ireland are actually attacking really well. Their shapes look great. They're moving the ball, but you can see the trap. South Africa's line speed is crazy. It's like a parachute that never opens. Every time Ireland think they are free, they get yanked back. Kenan Moody is shooting in from the wing. He leaves space wide on purpose, but he shuts it down after the pass, not before. And then we get the 9th minute, the first scrum. Even through the TV, you can hear the collision. South Africa don't just win the scrum, they monster it. Right there, they send a message that never quite goes away. 17th minute, Ireland are pressing, but the line out, normally their big weapon, starts to look shaky. Then James Ryan gets involved. High shot, head contact. The bunker has a look, and the yellow is upgraded to a 20-minute red. James Ryan is gone. This is not just one man down. This is your line-out caller, one of your main jumpers, a big defense voice. Just before that, Ireland think they have scored. They cross the line. They celebrate. But because of the foul play, the try is wiped away. I noted down 5-5, but instead, the score stays 0-5. And now the set piece starts to shift. Over the full game, Ireland will only win about 3/4 of their own line-out. South Africa will be up in the mid-80s. That gap does not sound huge on paper, but it hurts your launch plays, it hurts your territory, and it hurts your confidence. When your lineout is shaky, your playbook shrinks. And while Ireland are trying to patch that up, South Africa walks straight back to their favorite weapon, the scrum. Normally, when you get a penalty in the opposition 22, you think about taking the 3 points. South Africa look at the posts, smile, and point to the scrum. Again and again and again over the match, South Africa will feed 16 scrums. Ireland will feed just 4. That is insane. That is not just a set piece, that is a game plan. Every time they call a scrum, the Boks are making 3 bets. First, they believe they can drive Ireland backwards. Second, they believe the ref will blame Ireland when it goes down. Third, Even if they do not score directly, they know the physical tax will hurt later. Around the 26th minute, Boan Venter thinks he has scored. The TMO pulls it back for a forward pass. No try. But look at what South Africa do next. There was no panic, no quick shot at goal. They just say, scrum again, please. The message is clear. We like this game. We will play it all night. Minute 31. Another huge shove. Tommy O'Brien gets his tackle height wrong, catches Moody high, and has to go off for an HIA. Jack Crowley comes on. The crowd roars. 2 minutes later, Cobus Reinach sees a gap around the ruck and takes it. He scores. The Boks go further ahead. Sam Prendergast gets binned for offside. Ireland are bleeding penalties, and they are bleeding players. At this point, you expect the dam to break. But rugby is a strange game. 37th minute, Ireland are down men. They have every excuse to fold. Instead, they launch a maul. Caelan Doris breaks away. He has been working like crazy all night. He will finish with a team-high tackle count. He carries hard. The ball comes out fast. Gibson Park gets it. He throws a long, wide laser of a pass to Dan Sheehan. Sheehan dives in. Try. Crowley nails the conversion. The score now moves to 7-12. For a moment, the cards, the penalties, all of it fade into the background. Then, chaos again. Jack Crowley slaps the ball on the floor near a ruck. The ref calls it out. Yellow card. Andrew Porter follows with his own yellow after more scrum trouble. At this point, Ireland are down to 12 men. The next scrum near their line almost feels like a formality. The ref has seen enough. Penalty try to South Africa. They go into the break 19 points to 7 ahead. At this stage, you expect the stats to say one-way traffic. But they don't. They say something weirder. By full time, possession is basically 50-50. Territory is close to. Carries? Ireland actually make more carries than South Africa. Tackles? Ireland make a lot. South Africa make even more. So even though Ireland are down men, for huge chunks of the game, they still produce a full workload. This is not a team who just gets blown off the field. But there are two areas where the numbers really bite. First, discipline. Ireland give away far more penalties. They collect 4 yellow cards and a 20-minute red. South Africa give away fewer penalties and only 1 yellow. Second, set piece. 16 scrums to 4. A better line-out percentage. A penalty try. The Boks use every mistake to drag Ireland back into the scrum game. But there is a twist. Turnovers won and lost are actually pretty even. Ireland even steal more ball than you expect. So even when they are down men, they're still finding ways to fight back into the game. Second half, scoreboard reads 19-7 to South Africa. Sam Prendergast comes back on and nails a penalty. 19-10. The gap is back to single figures. Straight off the restart, Ireland knock it on. And I'm thinking, please, not another scrum. But that's what they get. South Africa go to work. They swing it. Sasha Feinberg Mgomezulu finds a hole and scores. It's a lovely try. The score moves to 24-10. At that point, you expect the Springboks to pull away. Instead, the game shifts into something stranger. Ireland get a rare scrum of their own around the 53rd minute. Only their third put-in of the night. They get driven back hard. Gibson Park has to dig the ball out under massive pressure. It's ugly, but it is brave. And from there, South Africa never really land a knockout blow. Now we come to the part of the game that really made this match special. Around the hour mark, because South Africa start bringing on their heavy bench. R.G. Snyman arrives, Quagga Smith arrives, Mane Lebok arrives. This is usually when the Boks turn a lead into a crushing win. But Ireland refuse. Paddy McCarthy, a young prop, is thrown in against the best scrum in the world. He struggles. He gets a yellow card. Ireland are down to 14 again. On paper, this is where the score should blow out. But look at what actually happens. In the last 10 minutes of the game, Ireland have nearly 80% of the ball. 80%. They pin South Africa back. They launch attack after attack. They get penalties. They get advantages. They even draw a yellow card for Grant Williams. Suddenly, it is 14 versus 14. Keenan Moody has to make big defensive reads. Cheslin Kolbe is scrambling everywhere. The Boks are not cruising. They are hanging on. Now add one more stat. Ruck speed. Over the game, Ireland win more rucks and a higher percentage of their ball is under 3 seconds. They're actually playing faster ball than South Africa. Even with fewer men, Ireland keep the tempo high and force the Boks to tackle. That is how they repel wave after wave of South African pressure when they are down on numbers. They do not just tackle, they steal, they slow, they find a way. Let's pull back and look at three big pictures. First, who won the collisions? Post-contact meters are a good clue. South Africa make a few more post-contact meters on fewer carries. They also edge the line break count. That tells us they're just that little bit sharper when they get into good positions. Ireland are brave in contact. Guys like Lowe, Ringrose and Doris carry hard all night, but when the Boks get into the 22, their carries hurt more. Second, who used the boot better? Ireland kick 29 times. South Africa kick 31 times. If you look at kicks per pass, Ireland kick about once every 5 passes. South Africa kick about once every 3.5 passes. If you look at kicks per 100 carries, Ireland are around 24 kicks. South Africa are around 32 kicks. What does that tell us? Ireland play more rugby with ball in hand. South Africa are more happy to put boot to ball, gain territory, and trust their chase and their defense. Third, set piece, scrums, 16-4 in favor of South Africa. On the stats sheets, both teams are marked as winning their own put-in. But that hides the real story. The Boks use the scrum to earn penalties, to earn cards, and eventually to earn a penalty try. The scrum is not just a restart, it's a weapon. The line-out tells the same story. South Africa win more of theirs. Ireland, without James Ryan, lose a bit of control there. Add these three together, and you get the real reason for the scoreboard. South Africa win the collisions, the red zone, and the set piece. Ireland win a lot of the fight, but not the parts that cost points. Before this game, there was a fun, kind of silly stat doing the rounds. In recent matches between Ireland and South Africa, whoever scored the first try won the game. It shouldn't matter. Rugby is too messy for that, and yet, here we are again. Damian Willemse scores first, and South Africa win. In a match with a 20-minute red, 5 yellows, a penalty try, and complete chaos, the simplest pattern holds true. Sometimes rugby is all about data. Sometimes rugby is just weird. So let's put it in one simple package. South Africa win this game because they get into the Irish 22 more often. When they get there, they're twice as efficient at turning visits into points. They win the big collisions. They make more meters after contact on fewer carries. They break the line just that little bit more. They dominate the set piece. They got more scrums, more line-out ball, a penalty try, and a stream of penalties in their favor. Their discipline is good enough. Not perfect, but good enough. Ireland, on the other hand, give away way too many penalties and too many cards in bad areas. This is not a robbery. It is not a fluke. It is a professional, clever Springbok win. But it is not the blow them away statement win we're used to seeing from this team. They lead for most of the game, but they spend the last 10 minutes under real pressure without the ball. That is why Rassie Erasmus looks like a coach who wanted more. Now, flip the camera. Ireland lose. They lose the penalty count. They lose the card count. They lose the set-piece battle. And yet, they walk away with a lot of respect. They play more rugby. They have more carries. They force turnovers. They play faster ball at the ruck over the full game. They spend the last 10 minutes with almost all the ball, with 14 men against the world champions, and they do not concede a point. That is not just Irish spirit. That is real structure, real fitness, real belief. If they improve their discipline, if they keep 15 men on the field for 80 minutes, this fixture looks very different. This match, looking at the data, it looks like Ireland are saying, we can live with your scrum, we can live with your collisions, we will still be there in the last 10 minutes. The final whistle goes. Cheslin Colby puts the ball out. The scoreboard freezes at 24-13 on paper. It looks like a standard Springbok win by more than 10. But that is not what we just watched. For South Africa, this is a good, sensible win. Their fundamentals still work. Scrum, kicking game, collisions, red zone efficiency. But they know they left points out there. They know they did not quite put Ireland away. For Ireland, this is a strange kind of step forward. They lost by 11, but they played huge parts of the game with fewer men against the best team in the world, and they never really went away. They showed a spine of steel. They showed a game plan that can still function under massive stress. I'm not going to turn this into an England discussion, considering a lot of people accuse me of having an anti-English bias. But let's just say this. For all the talk about other teams being the next best, on this evidence, Ireland are very much still in that conversation. South Africa take the win. Ireland take a lot of respect. And I take a deep breath, close the laptop, and step back into the rest of my day. This was an incredible, chaotic, beautiful mess of a game. This is Rugby from the Stands. See you in the next one. Please like and subscribe.